ASEAN-Japan Young Environmental Leaders Network, or AJYELN, is a product of the years-long initiative of the ASEAN-Japan Center to reach as many young people as possible and educate them about the perils of the marine plastic debris problem. In 2020, the Japanese government and AJC have actively supported environmental initiatives in the ASEAN region by collaborating with 22 ASEAN and Japanese students who launched the Future Leaders Declaration on ASEAN-Japan Cooperation for International Marine Plastic Waste, which is the first student-led declaration on the topic in the ASEAN and Japan region. In 2023, the Center implemented the AJYELN, which aims to raise and nurture young leaders who can and will make an impactful change towards a more sustainable environment and future.
The first batch of AJYELN Fellows included 37
Ladies and gentlemen, we will begin in just a
leaders
few
in the
moments.
region,
Please remain
aged
connected.
15 to 18
For
years
participants
old,
joining
and
us through
implemented
Zoom,
39
kindly keep your
plastic
microphones
pollution
muted throughout the session
activities,
unless invited to speak.
reaching out
Thank you.
8,000 elementary and high school students in the selected communities of 10 ASEAN member states and Japan. In 2024, the AJYELN program selected 33 new fellows from 8 ASEAN countries and Japan who implemented various unique projects addressing the issue of plastic waste in their local communities. In total, they implemented 63 marine plastic pollution awareness campaigns and activities, reaching out 17,877 individuals in the region and garnered more than 48,000 followers through its social media network pages via Facebook and Instagram. Now, it's your chance to be a part of the next cohort of ASEAN-Japan Young Environmental Leaders Network and put your ideas into action. In addition, you will also get intensive mentoring in a 3-day environmental leadership and project management training and connect with like-minded youth and communities across the region. At the end of the program, we will have a AJYELN Symposium where you will showcase your achievements and impact to the world and meet with other amazing speakers who are also making a real impact to the environment.
So, what are you waiting for? Let's make way together for a more sustainable future.
Together we are stronger, so let's protect our coral reefs from plastic debris because plastic is not fantastic!
Good afternoon from Japan, and warm greetings to everyone joining us from across ASEAN member states, Japan, and beyond. Welcome to the AJYELN 2.0 Kickoff and Launch Ceremony 2026. My name is Jason Salvadora, and it's my pleasure to be your Masters of Ceremonies for today's event. Today's ceremony marks the official beginning of a new cycle of youth-led environmental action and ASEAN-Japan collaboration under the theme Youth for a Plastic Resilient Region, Action, Innovation, Transformation. We are delighted to welcome our distinguished speakers, project partners, environmental advocates, educators, students, and most importantly, our newly selected AJYELN 2.0 Fellows. To begin, let us hear more about AJYELN 2.0 and the journey that awaits our fellows. It is my pleasure to invite Dr. Katrina Navarro, Head of Research and Policy Advocacy at the ASEAN-Japan Center, to introduce the AJYELN 2.0 program. Dr. Navarro, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Jason, for a warm welcome. To our distinguished guests, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, representatives of our partner ministries, organizations across ASEAN and Japan, and above all, the 2026 cohort of AJYELN Fellows, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us in this launch. As you begin your AJYELN journey, it's worth situating what AJYELN has been doing for Japan and the ASEAN region. It is a platform built on 3 years of documented evidence, carried forward by fellows across all 10 ASEAN member states and Japan. Since 2023, 133 fellows have implemented 182 activities, reaching over 44,000 individuals and collecting 4.9 tons of waste, supported by less than 2.2 million yen in seed funding, or approximately 50 yen of people reached. A clear lesson emerges. When modest resources are placed in the hands of young people, entrusted with real responsibility, the return is substantial. Hence, the theme for this year is Youth for a Plastic Resilient Region, Action, Innovation, and Transformation. You join at a defining moment in the network's evolution. The 2023 to 2024 cohort established the foundation through school-based awareness and peer education, campaigns, competitions, and community cleanups. As the 2.0 cohort, your mandate is different and more demanding. Community implementation and system experimentation. This means volunteer training, digital advocacy, public exhibitions, and the construction of durable partnerships with NGOs and the private sector. And your task is not simply to execute activities, but to generate evidence. Evidence that will inform the design of this program for the cohorts that will follow you. The record to date offers clear guidance on what distinguishes successful projects, and I ask that you internalize these principles from the outset. Pre-existing community relationships are a prerequisite and not an advantage. Partnership with local organizations possessing genuine operational capacity is essential. And precision matters. A clearly defined problem, such as a specific waste stream, a specific behavior, consistently outperforms a diffuse mandate. And projects that do not depend on a single critical stakeholder demonstrate greater resilience. Context, too, is decisive. What succeeds in Singapore or Japan will not necessarily succeed in Laos PDR or Cambodia, nor will it translate directly to Vietnam or in the Philippines. Reading your own operating context accurately is not optional. It is foundational for your effectiveness. I would also like to ask this cohort to address a known gap. Education and behavioral change activities generate the widest reach of any category that we track. Yet, they remain the area where long-term behavioral impact is least rigorously measured. I encourage you to treat this not as a footnote, but as a challenge. Demonstrate that not merely participation occurred, but that behavior changed as a result. Finally, understand that the impact of your work extends beyond this cohort. In 2027, the network will advance to AJYELN 3.0, a phase defined by policy dialogue, green entrepreneurship, and institutional leadership, supported by a growing alumni network. And what you establish now becomes the foundation upon which that next phase is built. 3 years of evidence converge on a single conclusion. When young people are trusted with resources, trained in leadership, and connected across ASEAN and Japan, they build solutions that national programs alone cannot reach on their own. That responsibility and that opportunity now belongs to you. To our distinguished guests from the Japan Ministry of Environment and the ASEAN Secretariat, thank you for your continued partnership and confidence in this program, which is made possible through the support of the ASEAN Youth Organization, the AREA Regional Knowledge Center for Marine Plastic Debris, and Climate Youth Japan. Your presence today reflects the importance of this generation's leadership to our shared regional future. It's now my privilege to invite Ms. Keiko Omori, Director General of Environment Management Bureau, Ministry of the Environment of Japan, to deliver the opening remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Navalio, for introducing AJYELN 2.0 and setting the stage for today's ceremony. We now move to the opening remarks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keiko Omori, Director General of the Environment Management Bureau at the Ministry of the Environment, Japan, MOEJ. It's a great honor to have this opportunity to address you today. At MOEJ, we are working to combat plastic pollution through a wide range of policies and domestic measures. We are also working closely with ASEAN member states and other countries to advance action across the Asian region. With regard to addressing plastic pollution, intergovernmental negotiations are currently underway to develop an international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution, including in the marine environment. As we move towards the next negotiating session, the international community is entering a critical phase in the fight against plastic pollution. Throughout these negotiations, the importance of engaging a wide range of stakeholders, including youth, has been repeatedly emphasized. Building an effective international framework and translating it into meaningful action on the ground will require the knowledge, creativity, and leadership of younger generations, who have a vital role to play in shaping our sustainable future. Since its launch in 2023, AJYELN has grown into a valuable platform that connects young people from ASEAN and Japan, fostering mutual understanding and strengthening cooperation. Since 2025, AJYELN has entered a new phase as AJYELN 2.0, creating even greater opportunities for fellows to develop their leadership, deepen regional collaboration, and contribute more actively to solving environmental challenges. I strongly hope that AJYELN will continue to expand its reach and impact and further establish itself as a leading platform connecting young environmental leaders across ASEAN and Japan. I also hope this network will continue to grow and contribute to a more sustainable future. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Omori, for your encouraging message and for the Ministry of the Environment Japan's support for youth-led environmental action. We sincerely appreciate your words to our AJYELN fellows, of course, to our program. Now, AJYELN is rooted in the spirit of regional cooperation, and we are very honored to receive a congratulatory message from the ASEAN Secretariat. In behalf of the ASEAN Secretariat, please join me in welcoming Dr. Von Sok, the head of the Environment Division of the ASEAN Secretariat, to give the congratulatory message. Dr. Von Sok, thank you for joining us in celebrating the launch of the 2026 AJYELN 2.0 cohort.
Keiko Omoris, Director General Environmental Management Bureau, Ministry of Environment, Japan. Dr. Yota Nakajima, Program Director of Environment Substance Research Program, Research Institute for Materials and Earth Science, Jamestown. Ms. Ashimin Yuriko, Vice President Climate Youth Japan. Ms. Sarah Rosanna, Chairperson ASEAN Youth Organization. Distinguished esteemed partner, and most importantly, the inspired young leader of ASEAN-Japan Young Environment Leader Network. I'm great honor to join you all today with about 200 participants, including student, educator, government official, for kick-off and launch ceremony of AJYELN 2.0. On behalf of ASEAN Security and Environment Sector, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to all of you on official launch of the ASEAN-Japan Young Environment Leader Network, AJYELN 2.0. Today marks a significant milestone in our shared journey toward a plastic-resilient region, driven by the passion, innovation, commitment of youth across ASEAN and Japan. Over the past years, AJYELN has grown from promising initiative into a vibrant regional platform, empowering more than 100 fellows to lead 160 impact campaigns and reach over 44,000 individuals. Your dedication has not only raised awareness, but also inspired real action, fostered collaboration among community, organization, and government. As we welcome the new cohort of the 30 fellows, I'm confident that your project will continue to advance innovative and practical solutions and strengthen regional cooperation in the fight against the plastic pollution. Your leadership is vital to transforming our vision of sustainable, plastic resilient future into reality with your head, heart, and hand working together with diverse stakeholders. Congratulations once again to our fellow mentor and partner. May your effort continue to shine as a beacon of hope and progress for our region and the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vongsok, for your warm congratulatory message and for highlighting the importance of regional environmental cooperation. Now, at this juncture, we have the keynote address of today's launch ceremony. Plastic pollution is often most visible along our coastlines, rivers, and communities. Yet its impacts extend far beyond what we can immediately see. To deepen our understanding of this challenge, we are honored to welcome Dr. Ryota Nakajima, Program Director of the Environmental Substances and Materials Research Program, Institute for Earth and Material Sciences, Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology, JAMSTEC. Dr. Nakajima's work provides important scientific perspectives on marine plastic pollution, including its distribution, transport, and impacts in the open ocean and deep sea environments. Today, he will deliver a keynote address entitled Plastic Pollution Beyond What We See Impacts on the Ocean and Deep Sea. Dr. Nakajima, thank you very much for being with us. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Jason, for the introduction. So let me share my slides first. Can you see my screen in full screen?
It's the presenter view.
It's the presenter view, sorry about that. How to do that? Wait a sec. How about this?
Yes, it's okay. You can see the presentation.
Okay, cool. Thank you. So, hello everyone, and I'm Ryota Nakajima from JAMSTEC in Japan. So today, I'd like to take you on the journey to the deep sea, a place that most of people never see, but the place that it is already affected by our human daily lives. So today, my topic is about plastic pollution in the deep sea environment. And before we go into the deep ocean, so let me briefly introduce about JAMSTEC. So JAMSTEC, so you may have about JAMSTEC for the first time, but the JAMSTEC is a marine science agency in Japan. So we studied ocean from the surface all the way down to the deep sea floor. So to do that, we have so many research vessels. And at the moment, JAMSTEC operates the 6 research vessels, and this is quite unique because there are very few research institutions in the world that operate this many research vessels under one institution. And the biggest research vessel we have is called GQ here. And this is actually a drilling vessels, and to give you an idea how big it is, that the size it's about as wide as the sunken ship Titanic. So it's very huge. And we also now developing the research vessel. This is actually the new icebreaker. and which will be completed this year soon. So this soon, and we plan to use this one for expanding our research on the study of the Arctic Ocean. And we also operate many deep sea research, the operating vehicles like this. And the most famous one is the Shinkai 6500, which is the human-occupied submersible, and it can take the people down to 6,500 meters under the sea surface. And so today, I'd like to share what we have learned about the plastic pollution in the deep sea environment through the deep sea explorations. Okay, so please let's take this video. This video was actually taken couple years ago, like 3 years ago. This is like the seafloor images from the depths of the 2,000 meters, and you can see a lot of debris coming one by one after another, and most of them are plastic bags. Yeah, here lots of debris coming all the way, and here is another plastic bags. Oh yes. So you might expect the deep sea is the last frontiers. People never see and never go, but actually when you go, every time you go to the down of the deep sea, the plastics everywhere. And this is the most important messages that I wanted to take home today. Plastics everywhere, even on the deep sea floor. And even the deepest ocean, that is no longer the untouchable. This image is the deepest record of plastic in the deepest part of the ocean. We found like plastic debris. This is probably from the plastic bags, but this is actually found on the seafloor of Mariana Trench at 11 kilometers deep. JAMSTEC is the first organization to discover the plastic debris on the deep sea floor in the deepest ocean of the world. So some of the images, and this is not and what is even more surprising is that this image was actually taken in 1998. So this is not a new problem. And JAMSTEC, we have been documenting debris in deep sea images for many years. And so some of the images go back to the 1980s. So that means that we can look back in time and see how human waste has reached the deep ocean. So using these images, we created a database called Deep Sea Debris Database. The database contains about 30 years of record on the deep sea plastics. And we carefully checked the images, all the images taken by the human-occupied vehicles or remotely operated vehicles taken since 1983. So whenever we found the debris in the images we recorded, we classified the debris into several categories like plastics, glass, rubber, or metal, and others. And so far, the database includes images from the more than 5,000 types. And we have identified more than 6,000 plastic items so far. And the figure on the right, on the show the type location, actually it's 4,500 types around Japan, where at least one the piece of the marine debris were observed. And as you might expect, the plastic was the common types of the litter debris among others. But there's one very interesting, the patterns. So when you look at the proportion of single-use plastic to the total the debris, the proportion of the single-use plastic increased with depth, and it was highest below the 6,000 meters. And this may be because the plastic can travel like single-use plastic, like plastic bags that can travel long distance and before finally sink to the deep sea floor. And next, please look at the figure on the left. So this figure on the left shows the distribution of plastic debris around Japan. The larger the blue circle, the larger the amount of plastic debris. So, and now, currently the JAMSTEC now focusing on the area highlighted in yellow. And these are the places where we still have very limited data, but still we believe these are the hotspot of plastic debris. So today I want to share some of our recent results of one of these areas called the KERG. So here the KERG stands for the Kuroshio Extension Recirculation Gyre. And to understand the KERG, please look at the figure on the right. This shows the flow of the Kuroshio currents. And the Kuroshio is one of the most powerful ocean currents, and it carries the lots of waters, but also the plastic from the Southeast Asia and East Asian region to the north. And so in some areas, so when you go in the Kuroshio, just like when you go just above the Kuroshio, you take the seawater on the surface, that you take lots of plastic, lots of microplastic compared to the adjacent waters. So Kuroshio is actually bringing lots of plastics. And in some areas, the current forms like gyres, like circulations here. You see the circulation, the large circulation system, and actually floating debris can get trapped in this circulation system and concentrated in the center of the gyre. So we thought, if the plastic are trapped at the surface, at the center of these gyres, could they also be transported to the deep sea floor underneath this big gyres or big circulation system? That was our question. So we went there to find out. So we went down to the 6,000 meter depths using our Shinkai 6500. So imagine that it takes about 2.5 hours to reach the seafloor about 6,000 meters. So you go deeper and deeper, and like sunlight disappears. Like it's completely become completely dark after 200 meter depths. So water becomes cold and dark. And actually, the temperature of the seafloor is about 2 degrees Celsius here. And finally, you reach the sea bottom and you find plastics. Actually, the single-use plastic everywhere. So when you move forward like 10 meters or 20 meters, you encounter the single-use plastics. And I still remember the conversation with pilots, because the pilot is a veteran. He had so many diving experience, but he says I've never seen such a large number of plastic debris in these remote regions. Unbelievable. This area is actually 500 kilometers away from the land. So, but still, we found a lot of single-use plastic on the seafloor. And one of the most memorable items we found is this one. This is the package of a chicken steak. And when you look at the date, the manufacture date, actually the date printed on it, it was September 1984. So this means it was almost 40 years old when we found it. But please look at this picture. As you can see, the package is still perfectly almost intact. And so when I held it with my hand, and I said wow, this could last another 100 years or maybe even longer. So because the deep sea is dark and cold and low in oxygen, so it's keeping the things in the dark refrigerators. So the plastic hardly degraded at all in the deep sea environment. So it accumulates and remains forever. And the amount of debris we found here is actually huge. So please look at the figure. And this figure summarizes the plastic debris abundance in different seafloor environment. And pink lines indicate the median values. So please look at the pink lines. And here is the plastic abundance beneath the KRG region, and this was higher than anyone else. The average abundance was about 4,500 items per square kilometer, And this is one of the highest value ever recorded at such great depths. And when we compare the value with the other deep sea environment at similar depths, like abyssal plains, actually the abundance found in the KRG was 2 orders of magnitude higher than the global average. So actually, this is one of the hotspot reservoir of plastic debris on the seafloor. So, but for now, we found lots of the large plastics or macroplastics. So how about microplastics? Actually, the number of microplastic was also huge. So here's the results. Actually, we collected the microplastic at 3 locations. The first one is the seafloor under the KRG. And second is the trench at the depth of 9,000 meters. And third is Sagami Bay, it's the closest, which is the closest to land. And you might expect the microplastic concentration to be higher and then near the land. That would make sense, right? Because the plastic mainly coming from the land. But we found it that opposite. We found a more high concentration of microplastic in the KRG. Here's the result. That you see the huge number of microplastic in the KRG region compared to the others. And in some samples, it contains over 3 million particles per square meters. Can you imagine that 3 million particles is just 1 meter by 1 meter squared? And it's expanding the whole region, the deep sea floor. It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's actually higher than the number previously found in the Mediterranean Ocean, because the Mediterranean is surrounded by lots of the European countries, and it's recognized highly contaminated, polluted areas. But then the microplastic number we found here is actually higher than the Mediterranean Ocean. And we also look at the polymer type of the microplastic. And here you see the different polymer types. And when we look at the polymer type in the KRG, we found the very few types of polymers. And the majority of them are polyethylene or polyamide. On the other hand, the polymer type in Sagami Bay and Trench, they had the wide variety of polymer type, and also polymer composition are similar to each other. So this tells us a very important message. The Sagami Bay is closest land, so the plastic found in Sagami Bay probably come from the land, and they can be transported into the deep trenches by landslides or other processes. And once they enter the trenches, they become stacked and trapped and won't come up again. But KRG is different. The KRG microplastic in the KRG likely come from the surface ocean. They are transported by the Kuroshio current and trapped in the recirculation gyre in the surface water and eventually sink to the seafloor. So this may explain why we found such high concentration of microplastic in the beneath of the KRG. Then another question comes up. So how much microplastic is actually sinking from the surface water to the deep sea? So to answer this question, we use the sediment trap in this area. The sediment trap is a device that catch particles sinking through the water column. And you can, and then sediment trap, it's automatically changes the sampling bottle. So you can know the time series or how the particle sinking flux changes over time. So we deploy the sediment trap at about 4,900 meter depths. And here you can see the results. And this is the time series result for sinking particles over 2 years. And on average, the sinking flux was about 350 particles per square meter per day. And we found a lot of the polymer types, but the majority was polyethylene. And when it comes with the mass balance, it corresponds to 20 milligram per square meter per year. And this may sound small, maybe, but when you apply this value to the entire KRG region, it becomes very large number. It corresponds to about 28,000 tons of microplastics being transported to the deep sea every year. So this could explain why the sediments below the KRG contain such extremely high concentration of microplastics. Yeah, and so far we have looked at the plastic on the seafloor and the microplastic particles sinking to the deep sea. And now let's look at where the microplastics are found in the water column. Okay, so please look at the figure on the left. This map shows where the microplastics have been studied around the world. And the gray dots show the samples from the surface water, and the light blues show the samples from a single depths in the water column. And the dark blue show the studies with the samples with multiple depths. And as you can see, the surface microplastics have been studied in many parts of the world, but the studies inside the water column are still very limited, and only about three sampling sites have data from the multiple depths. And we analyze these 300 data sets to understand the vertical distribution of microplastics. And here is the result. And so microplastics actually in the water columns are everywhere. And we found the microplastics throughout the entire water column from the surface to the deep ocean, like 10-kilometer depths. And in general, like in coastal waters shown on the left here, the microplastic concentration is much higher than the offshore side. It contains like 5 particles per cubic meter, which is almost 30 times higher than the offshore side. This is because nearshore coastal areas is close to the land-based sources. And also we found that like the decrease in general, the microplastic concentration decrease with depth. But in general, the decrease is much steeper in nearshore waters. You see the much steeper slope in the nearshore water. It is because the microplastics are actively sinking through the biological pump, like because coastal waters and nearshore water is close to the land, so it gets a lot of nutrients and the water become more productive. So you see lots of phytoplankton production, and these biological materials attract the microplastic that attach the microplastics and like get aggregated and become heavier and sink to the bottom, actively sink to the bottom. So that's why the decrease is much steeper in the nearshore world. And also, like we found, the size also does matter. Size really does matter. And here is an example of the offshore side. The small particle, less than 100 microns, decrease more gradually with depth. They are more evenly distributed throughout the water column. And on the other hand, larger plastics over the 100 micron tend to like stay near the surfaces. So this means that small microplastics may pose ecological risks, not only the surface water, but also entire water column, entire ocean. So what kind of the impact could they have? So let's look at the one example. So please look at this image. The ocean is full of tiny organic particles called marine snow. So this includes the dead plankton like fish feces or other non-living organic matter. So because their main component is carbon, so we call the particles organic particular organic carbon, or POC. And these particles are very important because they are part of the ocean carbon cycles. But today, the microplastics are also becoming part of the particle world. Why? Because the microplastic is also made of organic particles, organic carbon. Because the plastic is made of the fossil fuels, it's organic carbon. So it's becoming a part of the particle organic carbon. So please look at the figure on the right. This figure shows how the proportion of plastic-derived carbon within POC changes with depths. So as water gets deeper, the proportion of plastic-derived carbon to the total POC increases. And below 1,000 meters, it can reach up to about 5%. This value may sound small, but the proportion may increase in the future because we are getting much more plastic is entering the ocean. So it could become 10% or 20% in the future. And this means plastic carbon may start to affect the way of carbon moves throughout the ocean. So please imagine that the sinking particle contains a lot of plastics. Some of the plastic like polyethylene, polypropylene, the density is lighter than the seawater. So if the particle contains lots of microplastic, the sinking speed becomes slow, which means the flux to the seafloor or deep sea, it also becomes slow, and this means totally ruin or damage the carbon cycling in the total global ocean. And also the marine bacteria can utilize the plastic-derived carbon. If the plastic is become fragmented and become tiny enough to be captured by bacteria, the bacteria can utilize the plastic carbon. And so they use the plastic carbon and create a new ecosystem. So it's like adding the plastic in the ocean. It's like adding the new type of carbon food for bacteria to the deep sea, in the deep sea environment. But we still don't understand what this will do to the marine ecosystem. And I can only say that this is not natural processes. So we need more research. We urgently need more studies to elucidate and anticipate what will be going on in the future. So finally, I'd like to talk about the technology development. So until now, deep sea debris has been counted and identified manually. But this means researchers have to watch the video and stick in front of PC a long time and count the debris one by one. And as you can imagine, that it takes very long time with so many the videos, so many hours. They almost exhausting. But if you want to understand plastic pollution at the scale of the whole ocean, global ocean, we need much more data. So we are now developing AI system to automate this process. So this is our deep sea debris AI. So it's an AI system that can automatically detect and count deep sea debris. So right now we are training the AI system using the almost 30,000 images that include around 6,000 images of plastic debris. And to train the AI, we first have to prepare the data by hand. So we draw boxes around each piece of the plastic in the images. Then we label each item like this is a plastic bag or plastic bottles. And after that, we give the data, training data to the AI and let it run. So how does it work? And here is the result. Here's one example. At the moment we reach the seafloor, the AI immediately detects the plastic bag. Here another example of plastic bottle and a plastic bag. The AI correctly detected it. Oh, this is a plastic bottle, or like even the small images on the left, it correctly identified as a plastic bag. So this is very exciting because it means in the future, we may be able to analyze huge amount of deep sea video automatically. And this will help us understand what plastic debris is, how much there is, and also how they changed over time. And also this will help a lot to the policy making, for sure. And finally, this is going to be the almost last slide. So this is another technology we are developing. So this is a prototype of fully automated microplastic analyzer. Here you can see the hyperspectral camera. And the machine includes several steps. It takes in seawater, it concentrates the particles, it filters the particles. Actually, this is a paper filter coming from the coffee machine. And this system totally the same as the extracting the filter of the coffee. So this paper is actually designed for the filtering the coffee, but the filter is made from the paper, so it's not plastic. So it's so no worries about contamination. So, and it's also dry the filter system, and finally it takes pictures of the image of microplastic with hyperspectral camera, and it will give you the particle size, number, and type of the microplastics in one steps. So and exported the results in CSV or Excel files. So from filtration to the output or the analysis result, the whole process takes about I would say 20 or 30 minutes. And this system is still under development, but we hope to release this system next couple of years. So our final goal is like to bring this technology into society. We want to install this system in many different kind of ships, like research vessels or like commercial ships, ferry, cargo, and even more other ships in the future. And imagine this is a picture of the major global ship route. And imagine that this system has installed in many ships around running globally. We can collect microplastic data from many parts of the world ocean so efficiently and in one time. This is one of my goals. This ends my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nakajima, for that thought-provoking keynote address. Your presentation has reminded us that our influence and impact extend beyond what we can imagine. We think that our deep oceans are the last frontiers on Earth and that not a lot of people have reached these abysses. But even in this remotest of places, Jamstack have seen plastic debris in the Marianas Trench as early as 1998, and even a plastic manufactured in 1984. Imagine that. We are living really in the Anthropocene epoch, a new epoch that is being debated now. We now have the approximately 5 minutes for questions. For participants joining us through Zoom and also in YouTube, please submit your questions through our chat. And you can also share your questions through the question site that we have shared to you. We encourage our fellows, of course, to ask questions for Dr. Nakajima. Okay, before they can actually come up with their question, Dr. Nakajima, is it possible, for example, if students can also join, let's say high school students join your like vessels, like go into the vessels and learn from your research?
Oh, yeah, that would be the good opportunity for the high school students, but we are like government institution specially dedicated for the researchers. So please become a researcher to be on board our research vessels.
Okay, thank you so much for that information. Do we have any question from our YouTube page? Or in the chat?
Any kind of question are welcome, like life in the Shinkai 6500.
Oh, so we have a question from Jik. Hi, Dr. Nakajima. Where can we see your data, which we can use for our respective researches? So that's a question from our chat.
Does he or she talk about the database?
I think yes.
Oh, yes. The deep sea debris database is open for everyone. You can just Google or like check the deep sea debris database, Jamstack, and you get the URL to get into there.
Thank you so much. So the data that they are getting from their expeditions and their researches are available in their database.
Exactly.
So we can just Thank you.
Yeah, I will send the link.
Oh, this is a question from Jen. Hi, Dr. Nakajima. I want to ask from a Southeast Asian perspective, how concerned should we be about the current concentrations of microplastics in our environment? What is the strongest evidence linking microplastic pollution to ecological degradation and impacts on regional food systems? And where do the biggest research gaps remain?
Oh, that's very good and very good question. And actually, I have never seen any studies about the deep sea plastics pollution or microplastic pollution in the deep sea environment in the Southeast Asian regions. And most of them focusing on the like surface water or maybe a little deep, like 100 meters, 200 meters. But actually the deep sea environment is after the 200-meter deep. So I would expect so many debris are still hiding on the seafloor around the Southeast Asian region. And because the researcher is still looking for the missing plastics. Have you ever heard about the missing plastics? We know how much plastic enters ocean, but we still don't know. We still couldn't find like the same amount of plastic enters the ocean. So we're still looking for the missing plastics, and we are suspecting most of them is hiding on the surface of the seafloor. So the seafloor around the Southeast Asia could be the one could answer where is the missing plastics. Yeah, that's very interesting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the question. Another question is, I love the usage of AI in terms of monitoring plastic debris, etc. Although AI itself consumes significant energy and computational resources. How do we ensure that using AI to tackle environmental challenges like plastic pollution doesn't unintentionally create another environmental burden?
Oh, that's a little trick question. I know that you're correct. The AI system use a lot of energy. That is another concern. So we have to use AI wisely. Without AI, it will take forever to understand the ecological impact for the global ocean by the plastics. So we need to use AI, but yeah, you're right. So I cannot tell, like, I don't come up with any correct idea, but probably the energy solution would solve the problem. That's another topic. Sorry about that.
Okay. Do we have a last question perhaps? Okay. This is from our the head of the Research and Policy Advocacy section of AJC. What kinds of technical skills are relevant for the undersea plastic mapping?
It depends on how deep it is. If you focus on the shallow water, that you can dive with the scuba diving. The scuba diving is a technical skill, like to record a video on the seafloor. But for the if the depth is like below like 50 meter, we need the deep sea submersible or like operational vehicle like ROVs. That would be the necessary equipment for mapping. And the scientists working on the plastic and the deep sea floor now developing a new guideline how we monitor the plastic on the seafloor, and this will be launched hopefully later this year. So I look forward to like distribute you the new papers soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Nakajima. I think one last thing is, how do researchers and other interested people can reach you out? For example, if they want to uh, learn more about your research.
Oh, okay. I can share today's slide in the PDF if you want, and also please check the website of Jamstack, and we open for the many like results from our previous studies, and you can learn from them. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Do we still have another one?
The very last question.
Yeah, the very last question.
With regard to the plastic organic carbon.
With regard to the
beneficial or harmful in the ocean? We still don't know, but this is not natural processes. So it's not, I don't say it's beneficial in the ocean, but highly likely harmful because it's like slower and like ruin the natural system or natural biogeochemical cycling. And also, I don't tell the detail, but if you get more microplastic in the like particle organic carbon, you would expect the global warming much faster.
Okay, I guess that ends our questions. Thank you very much, Dr. Nakajima, for sharing
Yeah,
your
thank you very much.
expertise and insights with us today. We truly appreciate your contribution to this important conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank
And
you very
now
much.
we come to the heart of today's ceremony, the official launch of our 2026 AJYELN 2.0 Fellows. Across ASEAN member states and Japan, these young environmental leaders are beginning a year-long journey of learning, collaboration, and community-based action. Today, we are very proud to formally welcome into the ASEAN-Japan Young Environmental Leaders Network our esteemed fellows. Before we begin, a quick instruction to our fellows. When your country and name are called, please turn on your cameras promptly and keep your microphones muted. Please remain attentive and follow the facilitator's instructions throughout the launch. To lead us through the official introduction of the 2026 AJYELN 2.0 Fellows, it is my pleasure to invite Ms. Nur Latifa, the Program Associate at the ASEAN-Japan Center. Fa, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Jason. Hello, everyone. So, welcome. And then this is the most exciting part of today's session. It is an honor and privilege for me to introduce our highly esteemed roster of fellows representing their countries and teams from across ASEAN member states and Japan. They have painstakingly undergone a rigorous selection process, a testament to their commitment and excellence towards upholding environmental leadership and sustainability. So let's have a virtual round of applause, please, for our 2026 AJYELN 2.0 Fellows. Yay! So first, let's begin with Brunei Darussalam, Team Lautanita. We have Nabila Azahra binti Zamrin, Zuin Khairina binti Abdul Malik, and then Nugzukrina Amirah binti Awang Marzuki. They are from University Islam Sultan Sharif Ali, and then World Forum Brunei chapters, and also the Young Seekers Brunei. Yay! Welcome to Brunei Fellows. So they will do a cleanup activity, data mapping for hotspot identification, upcycling workshop, and also volunteer or ambassador recruitment process in their projects. Continuing to the country of Cambodia, Coastal Pulse Team. We have Chan Sophie Shada from Kamtek, and then Hein Feng Teng and Safate Ang. So they are from Cambodia University Technology and Science, or Camtech. They are planning to do cleanup activities, and then capacity building workshop, data lodging and heat map correction, recruiting volunteers or ambassadors, and also do social media campaign. Welcome to our fellows from Cambodia. Next, we are continuing to Indonesia. We have with us Brian, Arthur Lysander, and also Dania Zahra Yusti. They are from University of Indonesia. Their team called Bumi Health Catalyst, and then they are targeting to do establishing waste to wellness hubs, integrating Posyandu, and also doing a volunteer and ambassador recruitment, data mapping for hotspot and identification, and also doing capacity building workshop. Next, we are moving to Team Japan. Team Okta. So we have two fellows here named Aiko Ishii and Taketo Kunogita. They are from the University of Osaka. They are doing a quite interesting project, and then they want to do a cleanup activity in the water, and also awareness workshop and post-activity survey analysis. Next, we are moving forward to our Lao PDR with Precious Plastic Vientin PPV team. So we have 3 members here, Titipon Olin, Tavan Petsafaiva, and Futavis Sayasong. So they are from WWF Lao and then National University of Lao. So in their project, they want to do waste collection and sorting in the cafes in the Vientin, and also are doing upcycling workshop, capacity building workshop in schools. Welcome, Team Cambodia, Lao. Moving forward, we are going to Malaysia. We have Team Project Shore Up. In this team, we have 2 members, which are Umar Ashraf bin Mohkaid from University Tenaga Nasional, and then Amir Yusuf bin Mohkaid from University of Malaya. They are targeting universities in Malaysia, and then they are wanting to do capacity building workshop, cleanup activity, publish waste audit report for policy recommendation. Welcome, Team Malaysia. And next, we are moving to Team Myanmar. We have Sutzat Aung, Shine Arkar, and Tin Ten Het San from Moana team. So they are the students of Sagaing University Education, Yangon University Education, and University of Computer Studies Yangon. They are targeting Cangkuta Beach, Yangon, and also do volunteering or ambassador recruitment, and do door-to-door outreach, capacity building workshop in schools, and also cleanup activity. Good luck for Team Myanmar. Moving forward, we have Philippines team, Team Saulog. There are 3 members of this team, which are Jairus Ismail Linggonescu from Kabiling Lunhao, Jasmine Fleur Chanak Jaukin from Holy Name University, and Diosafaye Grace Ejo Arquilinalo from Bohol Island State University. They are planning to do capacity building workshop in schools, pilot testing alternative or solution from student to single-use plastic in wet market, and also do policy recommendation. Good luck for Team Philippines. Next, we have Singapore. The team name is My Kuro. We have 3 members of these teams, which are all the ladies. Dang Pan Trang, Jesselyn Putri Ayu Juwita, Dung Nok Pong Ang, and they are the students of National University Singapore. They are doing a capacity building workshop in the university, app development to promote circular economy in fashion, and also social media campaign. Next, we move to Thailand, the Loopers team. We have 3 members, the ladies again, from King Mongkut University of Technology, Thonburi. They are Saranyani Rungwilan Wilai Charoen, Pawarisa Burinun Tako, and Donlapat Chunchuat. They are doing waste collection, upcycling workshop in the schools in Bangkok, and also cleanup activities. Lastly, we are moving to Team Vietnam. We have Reloop Vietnam here. Joining with us, Nguyen Hoang Mai Mi Han from British University Vietnam, Nguyen Tu Min from Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam, and Nguyen Ly Bao Ni from National Economic University. They are targeting Hanoi and then do projects about e-commerce, packaging, or waste collection, upcycling workshop, reuse and distribute the intact packaging to vendors. Yay, welcome Team Vietnam, and then that's all of the fellows. So can you all, the fellows, turn on their camera, and then this launch marks the official launch of the fellows of the 2026 cohort. Okay, yay! Welcome everyone to the AJYELN. So We are looking forward for your innovative projects, and then looking forward until the next 6 months of this program. So can we go back to MC? Maybe we can have a queue for photo session.
Okay. So before we move on to our closing remarks, it is time for our official group photo. So please, everyone, can you please turn on your cameras? Okay. Is our documenter ready? Okay, let's have, I guess, okay, let me, okay. Okay, let's have 1, 2, 3, smile. Another one. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, and last 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think, yeah, we got our. Now, thank you so much, everyone. We have already our group photos. So as we approach the conclusion of our public launch ceremony, we are pleased to hear the closing remarks from two of AJYELN's valued youth partners. First, please join me in welcoming Ms. Sarah Raunosana, chairperson of the ASEAN Youth Organization. Ms. Sarah, the floor is yours.
Maybe if Sarah is not here, maybe we can invite other representative. Jason, please.
On behalf of Ms. Sarah Rosana, the chairperson of the AYO, we have Shabil Shah, the head of business development of AYO Social Enterprise. Zhao, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Jason, for inviting on behalf of the ASEAN Youth Organization, and also representing Sarah. Of course, we would like to express our gratitude and also express our congratulations to all of the fellows who have already accepted the AJYELN 2.0 in 2026. We are very much looking forward to welcome everyone in Jakarta, since AYO based in Jakarta. So we're very excited. We've been working a lot and with ASEAN-Japan Center for, I think, 3 years already. And of course, we've had a lot of good experiences. And I think the previous training was very beneficial as well. So I truly hope that all of the fellow of this year can feel the same about the training as well. And of course, on behalf of the ASEAN Youth Organizations, we would love to see you more, especially with the course that we have been designed for, I think, the past 2 months. So please, let's complete the course and then discuss with the mentors and then be proactive on the WhatsApp group. We would be definitely be happy to welcome everyone to the program. So yeah, I think thank you, Jason. Good luck, everyone. So I'll over to Jason again.
Thank you very much, Zhao, for your warm and inspiring words, and we look forward to your hospitality in Jakarta. Now, for our final closing remarks, it is my
Jason?
pleasure.
I'm sorry. But we have Sarah just come join us, I guess.
Ah, okay. Miss Sarah.
Maybe we can proceed with your requestion first.
Okay. Thank you so much. And now for our final closing remarks, it is my pleasure to welcome our valued partner from the Climate Youth Japan, the Vice President of CYJ, Ms. Yoriko Ashimin. Ms. Yoriko, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yoriko Asimine, the Vice President of Climate Through Japan. It is an honor to deliver these closing remarks at the launch of AJYELN 2.0. Today, 30 fellows representing all 10 ASEAN member states in Japan have been formally introduced as the new cohort of this distinguished network. And I'm so excited because although I'm the Vice President of Climate Through Japan, I'm also based in Singapore. So I'm a big fan of, I guess, ASEAN and Japan. Congratulations again. On behalf of Climate Through Japan, I extend my sincerest congratulations to each of you. This year's theme, Action, Innovation, and Transformation, could not be more fitting, right? It reflects the very journey each of you is about to take. And action, because plastic pollution demands solutions rooted in real communities, not distant policies alone. Innovation, because the challenges you face from coastlines, river system to city streets will require fresh thinking that maybe only our generation can bring. And transformation, because the ultimate goal is not a single project or a single campaign, but a lasting shift in how our communities relate to the environment around them. Together, these three words describe a process. It begins with a single action, but grows through innovation, and in time becomes transformation. So first in your own communities, and eventually across the entire region. Climate Through Japan has long valued its partnership with the ASEAN-Japan Center, and we take particular pride in supporting the fellows from Japan. We take up this responsibility. So I saw two members from Osaka University. Nice to meet you. To our fellows from ASEAN, you now belong to a regional community of leaders who share both your challenges and your commitment. So as this ceremony draws to a close, I wish you every success as you begin your work under AJYLN 2.0. We look forward with confidence to the contribution you will make to a more plastic resilient ASEAN-Japan region. Congratulations once again, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ms. Yoriko, for your meaningful closing remarks. On behalf of the ASEAN-Japan Center and the AJYELN organizing team, we would like to express our sincerest appreciation to all our distinguished speakers, partner organizations, and participants for joining us today. Most importantly, congratulations once again to our 2026 AJYELN 2.0 fellows. Today is only the beginning, and we look forward to the journey ahead. This concludes the first session of the AJYELN 2.0 kickoff and launch ceremony. To our public participants and those watching us online through Zoom and YouTube, thank you very much for being part of this special occasion.